What's up, y'all? What's up? I'm really frustrated with Ice Cube. Going on Tucker Carlson, talking about, Barack Obama was a symbolic victory, this, that, and third. Listen, I have no problems with people critiquing Barack Obama. Not at all. There's plenty of critique to go around as it pertains to Barack Obama. But this idea that you didn't know, and you're a movie director, that Tucker Carlson was going to cut from you, use your words, and use video of black people and use them as pawns in your video is lame and immature. It shows how slow you are, and it shows why you need to stay in your lane. Staying in your lane is not a bad thing. My dentist stays in his lane. He fixes my teeth. He doesn't fix my heart. I go to my doctor for that. I'm surrounded by experts that stay in their lane. Ice Cube should keep his mouth closed unless it's about something in his lane. Everybody should. You're a joke, dog.
So the rapper Ice Cube was recently on the Tucker Carlson podcast that predominantly premieres on Twitter. And the things he said got a lot of people upset, especially black folks, which in my opinion, I can't really understand. The only reason why the things he said got a lot of black folks upset is mainly because we have to admit the black community is predominantly a matriarchy, not a patriarchy. Therefore, anytime a black man says something that's, against the grain, it's going to be perceived as an attack. It's going to be perceived as you're not doing anything to help the people as a whole. When in actuality, you are, because you're trying to express other opinions and other, avenues in order to attain, which we would like to believe, the same goal of prosperity. Now, Ice Cube, as many men know, he made his success into entertainment, coming out with NWA, Niggas with Attitudes, and from there, making music, rap music in the late 80s, early 90s. And then from there, started making movies. Was first in Boys in the Hood, where you play Ice Tray.
Domino. Say about that.
That was basically one of his best roles. Then from there, he started making movies himself, with obviously number one, I would figure a lot of people said obviously, is Friday. And from there, sky's the limit. So Ice Cube basically has been on his own for pretty much the last 30 plus years. And on top of that, he's with the same woman, married at least for the last 30 years. That says a lot. I mean, as a man, I don't know if I could do that. So far, I haven't, eclipsed that, or even got 1/3 of the way of doing that. So, tip my hat off to him. Kudos, because that's a hard feat to, accomplish, in my opinion. Now, in this particular situation, Ice Cube, he's going to be, on his own tip. He's going to do what he deems is right. Same thing happened with the whole situation with the vaccine. He felt that it was not necessary. He felt that it's not something that he needed to get, even even though he's going to miss out on, I think that's $9 million. That's something you have to commend a guy for.
Turned down $9 million.
I didn't turn it down. Them motherfuckers didn't give it to me because I wouldn't get the shot.
Exactly.
I didn't turn it down.
Oh, okay.
They just didn't give it to me.
Oh, because you wouldn't get the COVID shot.
Yeah, the COVID shot.
Oh,
okay. The jab. Yeah.
So like I said, $9 million. And he basically said that, hey, I'm not going to get the vax. So that tells you right there that this is a man that is about his word. His word is bond. That means he's a man's man. And I respect that. And you imagine that a lot of people will respect that as well. And the fact that Ice Cube went from doing interviews with Joe Rogan, Bill Maher, Piers Morgan, which all three are, I guess people will classify them as not really left, but more like far left leaning. I guess would be more like libertarian as opposed to liberal. The fact that he did those interviews, those three guys, and then now he just did an interview with Tucker Carlson, who is considered, right, conservative, not so far right, but it's considered right. A lot of people are upset about that because they deem Tucker Carlson and people of his ilk and people of his way of thinking as the enemy. And the only reason why they think someone like him, Tucker Carlson, being an enemy, because once again, the black community is a matriarchy. So whatever is being put inside of the back of the battery of the black woman in the black community is going to be projected all throughout, especially on social media.
Can I talk to y'all as a millennial and 80s baby and tell you how disappointing it is to see men that made very socially progressive rap as far as anti-establishment music about the police specifically, turning around and becoming Republicans or Republican adjacent. The whole thing with Ice Cube is super duper weird. Now, I'm personally seeing a lot of times that there's a lot of black men that are being indoctrinated into conservative thought processes, mainly by preying on their fear of trans people, their phobia of trans people, their desire to take up the same power structures that white men have. So they're really big into patriarchy, submissive women. That's why we keep having these discussions. They're basically taking all the white male conservative talking points except for racism and adopting that. And that is becoming like this cult that is sucking black men in.
This girl, woo. I tell you, man, I don't care if it's black woman, white woman, whatever. Any woman you deal with as a man, make sure you stay in control, stay in charge. Women will respect that, and you make the relationship last longer. Seriously, because what that woman said there made no sense, and all she's trying to do is project her insecurities of the situation onto us as men. You shouldn't allow that, regardless if you're a man watching this or a woman. Either way, you should not allow that. So I commend Ice Cube for what he's saying and what he's doing. He's talking to other people who's willing to listen, because he even said that he tried to go on The View, which, I mean, regardless of how I feel about The View, I can understand why he wanted to go on The View. They have a wide audience, so he'll be able to reach out through his marketing and so forth. But the people on The View, they don't want him. And he clearly knows that. That's stated right here.
Some platforms will not have me on.
Why?
They don't like that I'm, an independent thinker. I'm not part of the herd. I'm not part of the go along to get along gang, so to speak. So, I'm an outsider. And so, I'm not part of the club.
What platforms have banned you?
I've been I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Some of the hosts to not have me come on and explain myself, but
You'd be a good booking for them.
I've been on there before.
Yeah.
It's just when I've became an independent thinker, when I've, I'm not, I don't follow their brand of politics, I guess.
So The View don't want him. A lot of black women are against him for the fact that he spoke, I won't say against them, but basically he did not speak in the same type of narrative and the same type of tone as they want. It makes me say to myself that regardless of what the woman says or regardless of what the left thinks, you have to make the decision as a man and just go ahead and go forward with it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be beholden on to you as a man. So Ice Cube has been hitting his head against the wall, because just about 3 years ago, he went through a similar situation when Trump was, the whole Trump-Biden election was going on, and he was trying to push the Platinum Plan, which I believe was a plan to help black folks basically have the government subsidize programs for black people. And he went to the Trump administration to see if there's something that would work with. And I believe the Trump administration said that after the election, there was talk. And then when he went to the Biden administration, when Biden was running, they basically didn't give him the time or place at that time. So you have to understand that if you're trying to knock on someone's door and they're not answering it, or if they do answer the door, but they're not trying to be very appeasing or be very welcoming to your idea, then you have to walk away. And that's what men tend to do. And men have to continue doing that regardless of what the woman thinks and or says. because Ice Cube was trying to do a program to help out all black people. But when he went on the Fox Soul podcast with Vivica Fox and like 3 other women, this is what they had to say to him.
I gotta ask this question. Because you're on this show with the cocktails with the queens. And there's a reason for that. It wasn't to have you defend or not defend Donald Trump. It was about, I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women. And it's not, we're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And I
You are
want to know,
mentioned. I mean, when you mention black people, you mentioning black women. So don't count yourself out. Yes,
that's
you
not
are.
true. That's like administration say that when they
Black
mention
people is not black
minorities,
women.
they mention
Black women are not included in black people.
No,
Come on, ladies.
but that's like, that's like you saying, that's like when the president says minorities, then he's including black people. But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to us and our plight as well.
So once again, Ice Cube is basically, between a rock and a hard place. And a lot of black men tend to be in the same situation as well. And I believe the same thing with black women, like for instance, Candace Owens from Daily Wire. But it's really the black men. Because in order for the so-called black community to progress and move forward, black men is going to have to be the ones to lead it. I don't care what the black woman says. I don't care what's going to be in the comments. I don't care what's said to me on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. It's going to be up to the black men. And that's why I say it's always incumbent on the black men to take up the proverbial cross and carry it. And the woman will eventually follow. That's how things work. Simple as that. Has nothing to do about being transphobic or being misogynistic or none like that. Yeah, it's gonna be sexist, but that's biology. And we have to go by how nature operates because we can't trump nature. We just can't. The more you try to do that, the more one would fail. So I personally agree with a lot of things Ice Cube said on the interview with Tucker Carlson. I'll leave the link below so you could, if you want, you could go ahead and watch the interview yourself. It's a full lengthy interview. I think it's like about 20 minutes. It's like 10 minutes in a car when they drive around in Compton and another like 10 minutes at a studio of some sort. I recommend you go watch it, even if you don't support Ice Cube. But the fact that you see a man, especially a black man, stand out and basically ask these questions. And I truly believe Ice Cube knows the answer to why he's not being, received in a certain way. But for him to ask these questions and start the conversation, it gets the ball rolling. And hopefully it will ignite a lot of black men to basically learn to speak up and speak out and speak against a lot of these things. Because like Malcolm X said this about, 60 years ago, how the liberals are basically like foxes. They come off with a smile, but at the end of the day, they're just looking to stab you in the back.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling and you take him for a friend.
So Malcolm X said this about 60 plus years ago. It's nothing new. Like my dad always would tell me as a kid, ain't nothing new underneath the sun. Just old news to new people. That's it. So, we can't fall for this, this trick, this banana in the tailpipe type of thing over and over and over again. Something has to change. And we have to, like I said, we have to push back against this. Otherwise, we're going to continue rinse, wash, repeat. And rinse, wash, repeat again and again. Nothing's going to happen. The whole black community is just going to be pretty much at the bottom of the totem pole like it has been for the past, 50 plus years. But let me know. Leave a comment down below. Do you believe that Ice Cube is a sellout?